Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Joseph Najjar with Oz Arab Media, joined today by Mrs. Australia Legacy International 2024, Yeukai Tshwanelo. She's joined us today to discuss her victory in the pageant held 3 weeks ago. You may have seen our early interview with Laura about 4 weeks ago, where she discussed the pageant and the work and the projects that the girls are doing. Yeukai has joined us today to discuss this, as well as the upcoming trip to Utah she's going to be doing with the pageant. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for joining us. And Yeukai, thanks for joining us as well. How are you?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you. To start off, tell us about your legacy project and what inspired you to do it.
My legacy project is to raise 100 wheelchairs for children in impoverished communities. Statistics, according to the World Health Organization, there are about 10 million children in need of wheelchair because they have a physical disability. So out of the 10 million, I'm pledging 100 wheelchairs, and also using my platform to raise awareness to the complexities that people with a disability face, especially if they do not have that gift of mobility, to be able to do simple things like get access to healthcare, get access to going to school, events, the simple things that we do in life. So I've taken it upon myself as this year I turn 40. And I wanted to do something that would leave a legacy. I know 40 is, they say that life begins at 40. And it's usually about the big dress, hence the big dress. And so I actually wore the big dress for my legacy project. And so the parties that I will be doing are hosting women empowerment events around the globe to raise much needed funds and awareness. So my legacy project, the title is Raising a Light on Children with Disabilities. And I'm partnering with governments. I'm partnering with people that are already into the empowerment space, collaborating to make a bigger impact.
It's very inspiring. You mentioned you were partnering with governments. What governments, if I might ask, are you collaborating with on this project?
Yes, so I've already started the work with the government of Botswana, and we're starting with International Wheelchair Day. So interestingly enough, in Botswana, the awareness to people with disability was very insignificant. So they didn't even have the database of how many people actually are living with a disability in Botswana. And as you know, as I've worked in healthcare for 18 years, I've got a medical background, and it's something that I've done passionately. So I have great awareness of policies that are inclusive. I also have great awareness of how policies can be structured to actually align with the referendums that are in favor of people with a disability. So I believe inclusivity should not be about your physical ability, but we should all be included. And so with the government of Botswana, I've got a very exciting project that I will actually also be working on. They have a project called I Am Special, which is a training institution for children with a disability. So they come to this institution where they get vocational training, but they also learn a skill. So I Am Special needs a new home because where they are currently situated, unfortunately, it doesn't really accommodate for the needs of the children. And so I'm very excited to be partnering with the government in terms of coming up with the policies that will be needed because we want this to be about not just, my legacy project, the reigning year, but for the years to come. So on the 1st of March, I will be part of the first ever international wheelchair commemoration in Botswana, where I will be distributing wheelchairs, but not only that, where we will be raising awareness to, number one, we need to know how many people are living with a disability. We need to know what are we going to do now that we have these numbers, and how is the referendum going to work in favor of children with a disability. So I will be in Botswana for 10 days. I will also sit down with the First Lady particularly regarding my project, the 100 wheelchairs, and then also sitting down with the cabinet for disability, where we will be talking about the referendum, where we will be talking about what do we have in place for people with a disability and working towards, being more inclusive.
Right. Well, we wish you the best on your trip to
Thank
Botswana.
you.
Botswana, pardon me, and that the best possible result is achieved.
Thank
Um,
you.
so, your participation in the Legacy pageant, how did that come about?
Um, I can say that it's the biggest blessing that I stumbled upon. At the time, I was reflecting. So, as I mentioned prior, that I am coming to 40. So, I turned 40 in April. And initially, 40 was something that I was really looking forward to. I did get recognized by Forbes magazine last year for being a change maker for disabilities. And that still didn't feel like it was enough. And then I was recognized as one of the 40 established people in business in Australia in a program called 40 Under 40, where you are celebrated for your business achievements. But even that didn't feel enough. So the question that I was asking myself, that I'm getting to 40, but what is the legacy that I'm leaving behind for my children? Disability advocacy has always been something that's very close to heart. I've always come from a background of caring, originally from Zimbabwe. And as a child, we always looked out for our neighbor. And so when I came across the Legacy International, their values aligned with my values. It was exactly what I was looking for at the time. I was also looking for mentorship, someone who would hold my hand along the way, because obviously to be able to get access to governments is not something that you can just wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to the government of Botswana. But suddenly, this opportunity, uh, aligning with me at the right time, aligning with my Christian values, aligning with the plan that I have for 40 and beyond, aligning with the people that have been rallying behind me. And so it felt fitting for me to pursue it. So I did due diligence, being a CEO for an organization, and also running organizations on my own. So I needed to make sure that it would align with my brand, it would align with my values, it would align with who I am, even as a pastor. So I got to meet Laura, and she's an amazing director, amazing mentor.
I agree.
Her values really align with my values, especially on where I want to see myself as a brand, where I want to see my legacy project, and anything else that I will collaborate or partner in from here going forwards. So, Legacy International, what I love the most about it is not just a pageant. I have was doing pageantry before from a very young age. I was, won a few titles when I was younger. So it's not about, the looks, all about the looks or clothing or, walking on the runway. Yes, those things, those facets are important because they're things that I actually use now. But the most important thing is what I'm standing for, my cause. So Laura has helped me amplify my voice. She's helped me be able to select as well, be selective with the events and what I am part of. She's also on the forefront of Us Lady. She's developed a system that develops a sisterhood. And today I'm here on Oz Arab Media because of the Legacy International. So I'm grateful for the opportunities that have already come. There are so many that have already presented themselves, but as a system, it's the most amazing system that you can be part of because it builds you up, it builds your platforms. Not only that, Laura has a background in mindfulness. So she also helps us to realize the power that we carry within and also help us to amplify our voices. So I am so grateful for the opportunity to be part of the Legacy International Sisterhood and also grateful to be the current reigning Mrs. Australia, and my pledge or promise is to be a loud voice that cannot be silenced for children with disabilities.
Okay, well, congratulations once again on your victory.
Thank you.
Your legacy project, let's say 10, 15 years from now,
Yes,
where do you see your project having gone? Do you see yourself collaborating with more governments, um,
yes.
having a network of people around the world trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve now? Where do you see it in the next decade or so?
Yes, I love that question because it's amazing how some satellite groups, small groups, have actually started doing wheelchair distributions. So they've been inspired by what I've done and they have started their own satellite groups. So the vision is to train leaders in countries who will be continuing the work. So as I go to the Botswana, for instance, I'm actually going to meet with the Mrs. Botswana, and I'm going to train them on what Laura has trained us on, leaving a legacy. So I'm going to rally behind with these women and train them to be leaders and train them particularly on the needs that people with disability have. Because remember, it's just not about leaving a wheelchair there, but there may be other needs that we need to look into as well. So being advocates of being able to, for those needs to be voiced out. I am also working with Nepal, a very exciting project. I can't go too much into it now, but we will be writing a paper because in Nepal there's extensive research that has been already started. And so I will be releasing a research paper in collaboration with the Changemakers organization. And this is the paper that we will be presenting to governments. So my kind of satellite pilot government is Botswana because it's close to home. And then from there, we intend to have like the right policies in place, the right procedures in place, because for longevity, you need to have those things in place, the right policies, the right procedures, and most importantly, factoring in sustainability. How are we going to make this sustainable? How are we, for instance, we're saying, okay, well, we want to have wheelchairs for people to go to work. But have we also thought about the work environments? Are they inclusive for wheelchairs to actually access the properties? Simple things like that. So Botswana is the start, and we're starting with the first ever International Wheelchair Day. And from there, it's then the policies and then a lot of research, paperwork, pilots of things that have already been done in Australia and sort of bringing them across. And as I may have not mentioned Dubai, because they're the champions at the moment, the leaders in inclusivity. So collaborating with them. And when you work with governments, you kind of have a bigger impact because you're starting from that, right at the top, at the referendum and the bills that are then passed. So that's my aim. My aim is to knock on those doors, but not only those doors, also work with the local people so that they come on board and become passionate and actually raise awareness to the causes that are taking place. I've also partnered with amazing organizations that have already started the work. Like today, I am hosted and sponsored by Mbuya Rafi. We will be going to Japan, and her cause is about mental health. And as you know, a lot of the families that we are coming in contact with have got a lot of extensive mental health issues due to the traumas of what they have gone through. So with Mbuya Rafi, we will be in Japan, where we will be hosting a mental health day for the Japanese locals. And of course, my legacy project, I have a platform to then speak on, you know, being passionate. And already I've got questions from a few people that how do I do what you're doing? What is a legacy project? So we will be doing that. And I also will be in Canberra, where I will be part of a wealth creation conference, which is being hosted by Pastor Casper and Gladys Muzua. And at that conference, we will be teaching how you can create wealth, because obviously we need funds to be able to buy these wheelchairs. So I will be pouring out my knowledge in business on how you can create a business, on how you can do what I'm doing. Because a lot of people have asked me, how am I funding what I'm doing? But obviously, because I've got great mentorship that I'm receiving, but obviously, there's also the funds that I am raising from my knowledge in business, which I will be using to this. And lastly, what I love about Legacy International, the international part, is we are a global organization, an international organization. So my hope is to take this to America. And obviously, I want to be a very strong contender for the title because I want to be able to take my platform globally beyond what I could ever think or imagine for these children. Because if the need is as much as it is in Nepal, in Botswana, in Zambia, I can only imagine everywhere else. Thank you.
Okay, that was a very good answer, and I have to say I'm very
Thank
impressed
you.
with um, how well thought your legacy project is. I mean, we've got
Thank you.
trips to Botswana, to Japan, to Dubai. You're really um, going all over the world sharing this. So kudos to
Yes.
you. And you did
Thank you.
mention as well, thank you. You did mention America as well. So you'll be traveling to Utah, if memory serves me right, in August or September, one of those 2 months. How are you preparing for the trip, and what's the excitement like, not just between you and your group, but the other girls
Yes.
in the Legacy Project?
Yes, well, the excitement is phenomenal. Um, as I said, we've built a sisterhood, so we actually touch base on, you know, really frequently. Preparation wise, there is actually a lot of preparation leading up to these events because remember, this is not just about a title, this is about impact. And it's about demonstrating and inspiring other people to do the same thing. And so that's where the work actually is. It's not about putting it down on paper, but it's actually doing the work. So the work actually starts now from the first. My calendar is booked up all the way up until we head out to America. I've got quite a lot of exciting engagements. And of course, I have factored in self care. Self care is so important because it's easy to burn out. And thankfully, we have Laura, our mentor, who helps us realign. So it's easy to also, come away from the goal. But I've got a strong team behind me that is also helping me align my schedules, make sure that it aligns with the values of Legacy International. I also have mental health days where I take time out to rest. And because I'm doing my passion, I never feel really exhausted. Literally, in my spare time, I still operate a business. And I must say, I am so grateful to my husband who's watching today because I would not be able to do what I'm doing if it were not for him being behind me 110%. So he's behind me spiritually, physically, emotionally. And even right now, he's ahead of me in Botswana, paving the way, making sure that everything is set up well. So it's also important that this pageant helps us to also, it's nourished our relationship as a couple, I feel, because we're doing things collaboratively now. It's like, it kind of feels like he's the Mr. Australia. I kind of call him that now too. Mr. Australia, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's uh, amazing. The support that he's given me, being my backbone on this, and yeah, I'm ready for the international stage, and I'm just ready to serve my community, my tribe. I now call them my extended family, the mother of many nations, because literally every door that we knock, we don't know what's on the other side. But I've always said that every door that we do open, we don't want to shut it without providing a solution. So yeah, it's the work. It's the work that we have to put in. Yes, the beauty part of thing is important as well because, as you know, some doors people will first want to look at what do you look like. People will also want to know what do you know. So there's a lot of studying. I make sure that I continue to be the leader in healthcare in disability. I am studying in my final year of medical school, and I have not deviated from the goalpost. So the goal is to be a doctor and specialize in disability. So this is kind of like what others would say the relaxation time. So my relaxation time is working on my legacy project. It kind of fuels that. So I look forward to finally completing that. And again, it's something that I've put down on my goal of the big 40. I want it to be all about the people. I want it to be all about the children and everyone that I come into contact with. I want them to feel elevated, inspired, to continue to do what they do and at a bigger magnitude, at greater magnitude.
That's incredible. I do want to say, as a reporter, I wish I could give answers and questions as well as you do. I'm just sitting here listening, so
Thank
full
you.
credit to you. I might have to sign up for some lessons sometime. Um,
Thank you. Thank
to
you.
conclude, the pageant, you speak very highly of Laura and of the Legacy pageant, and I agree, Laura has done a fantastic job. Um,
Yes.
and what you and the um, other contestants have done is amazing. You've worked so hard on these projects. What message would you like to give to your fellow competitors, or maybe future competitors, or just people who are considering participating in Legacy? What message would you like to give? You mentioned it's a sisterhood, but deep
Yes.
down, what do you think a contestant should be at heart?
Yes. So to my uh, current queen, reigning queens, I just want to start off by congratulating you. I know how hard it has taken to get to where you are. And my biggest advice is continue to authentically be yourself because that's what's taking you there. Continue to, every door that you knock on, continue to be humble, continue to listen and allow yourself to, trust in yourself, trust in your instincts, continue to be confident and dream big. Everything that you need is already on the inside of you. You are more than enough. And we will continue to cheer each other on because this is a sisterhood. To the people that are considering becoming part of a pageant, I would encourage you to be part of Legacy International because it's opened doors for me that I never dreamed possible. As we speak, I've got partners, including people like Emirates. I've always traveled Emirates, but suddenly, I'm able to travel now in comfort. Every flight that I get onto, they ensure that my flight is comfortable. And so, thank you to Emirates that make it also possible for me to fly from continent to continent without getting completely exhausted and putting in that extra effort. And so, the sky is the limit. And for me, like they said, life begins at 40. Literally, life is beginning at 40 for me. I come to the airport and I have people standing at attention. I never thought that would be possible. Not that I didn't believe in myself, but at the time I probably didn't have the right people that were backing me up. And God waited for the right time to align for me to be ready for those opportunities. So I've also put the hard work in. If you are considering this, you can actually start to register now. And I'd encourage you to do so so that you can start working on your legacy project. Someone might say, well, I don't know what a legacy project is, where to start. Well, that's why Laura is there. She's a pageant queen herself, too. And she helps you literally from the A to Z with pageantry, and she keeps it real. So we are real people living a real life, but just using the opportunities that God has given us to make sure that we raise awareness for the causes that a lot of people are not really looking into. So 100 wheelchairs, every interview I've gone into, they say, how are you going to do this? The same way, getting into the competition, first time ever being in pageantry and winning it. It's about the passion. It's about what you stand for. It's about integrity, honesty, and sticking with that. So come and join us. We're a sisterhood. It's not all about the beauty, and it's about where you are as a person. So we're not expecting that everyone will be like me. The most important thing is to be authentically yourself and comfortable in your own skin. So I am beyond excited because if I could just say that some of the doors I cannot even speak of just as yet, but they are the doors that have been opened for me through this pageant. And for the people that we will be seeing very soon, as I said, in Japan, we'll be in Japan. I'm so excited. I'm sure we have some that may be watching right now. We're very excited. And also in Canberra on the 27th of March, where I'm there for a wealth creation conference. But before then, Botswana, you're at my heart. I can't wait to be there. And then from there, I'd love you to follow my social media so that you can see where I am. And I'm very approachable. If you've got any questions about a legacy project, if you are a Mrs. and you're thinking of getting into this pageant, do not think twice. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions and just be your go-to girl. So yeah, thank you so much for having me today. And we met before at our in
That's what
behind
I
in our
mentioned
rehearsals, and
3 weeks
it's
ago.
just been a pleasurable experience. And yeah, I'm grateful for the work that you're doing too, and excited to collaborate with what you're doing as well. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Yeukai, for your kind words. God bless.
Thank you.
Um,
God bless you
I
too.
thank you. I really admire the passion you have
Yes.
behind this project. I might just ask one more thing before we go offline. Is there any way if people want to assist you, join your work, donate money? Is there a way they can reach out to you?
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, there is a lot of work, as I've mentioned. At the moment, the easiest way is I've actually partnered with Wheelchairs for Children Limited. So I've started a campaign on my Instagram. So the first lot of wheelchairs that I'm going to Botswana with are wheelchairs that I've personally put funds together. Not myself personally, but my husband. He has donated to my cause. So the first person who's actually said, "Hey, I'm doing this." So they're the first wheelchairs that I will be donating. And then when I come back, we've got quite a lot of work to do in the workshop. So all the names that we've received, starting to do the work behind, like measurements and all of that. So for now, the first target is $1,000, and this is for the wheelchairs that will go to Zambia. One wheelchair costs $275. And the beauty of these wheelchairs is that it will grow with the child. They're all-terrain wheelchairs, so they can it can go on the gravel, it can go on the tar, and they're pretty amazing-looking wheelchairs. They look like a bicycle, so not your typical chunky wheelchair. They look like bicycles, so the children are not going to feel shy to take them to school. So we're at 675 for the 1,000 for Zambia. And then from there, we will have a website that's going to launch. And the website will launch on the day I'm going to have a gala. So I encourage you to be part of that gala. It's going to be fun, exciting. We're going to partner with many different organizations. And we will host it in Perth because that's where Wheelchairs for Children Limited are based. So wherever you are based, I encourage you to come to Perth. And by attending the events that I am going, you're also supporting me and the people that support me. So today we have a Rafi. By attending Japan or supporting Japan, you're helping the Japan community, but you're also supporting my sponsor, Casper and Gladys Muzua, Prophet Casper and Pastor Muzua. As you partner with me, you're partnering with them. So as you buy a ticket in Canberra to attend the Wealth Creation Conference, of course, you're going home with a lot of free information that you'll be able to take away and actually start your own business if that is your passion. But if you're in the corporate world and you want to go up in the corporate world, you'll be getting those tools. We have real estate agents that will be a real estate agent that will be there as well, a business advisor that will be there. So by buying that ticket, you're also partnering with the work that they're doing, and in turn, you're partnering with myself. So my social media handle is YEUKAI_TSHWANELO, which is on the screen today. But I'm sure if you go on the reel for Oz Arab Media, you will see my post there. And you can follow me that way. And website, everything about me is on there on how to get in touch with me. I've got a website. And if to follow my journey to Botswana, that will be the best way. So I'll be sharing a lot. I'll be keeping you all in touch and engaged. And I look forward to the actual big 40th celebration once we hit our 100. And this is going to be at the end of the year where we will all come. So this is a pre-invitation to Oz Arab Media to my 40th Legacy International Birthday Party,
We're excited.
where
We'll
we
be
will
there.
celebrate our victory.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much for the invitation, Yeukai. We will be there. And
Thank
on
you.
behalf of Oz Arab Media, thanks for joining us today and for really sharing something so deep and personal for you. We wish you the best and God bless. And to our viewers,
Thank you.
thank you
God
for
bless you
joining
too.
us today. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.